So this is a very strange case. I don't know how many of you have come across this condition, hyperosmia post-COVID. Normally the symptom was that the patient loses smell, but this particular patient had excessive smell after COVID. 41 years female was consulted on 7th of October 21 for increased olfactory sensation. She developed COVID in the month of April and lost sense of smell during that period. In the month of July, suddenly one day in the morning, she developed a weird smell while brushing. On opening the refrigerator, she smelled a sense of rotten food, especially for foods like onion, garlic, coffee, chicken and mutton. The sense of smell was so intense that it caused a gagging sensation. She became very anxious because her job was in food industry, which was involved in tasting of food items which were made. So while tasting, she used to get the smell of these foods and it used to cause gagging and thus made her unfit for her own business. And this was a big reason for her to try homeopathy, as she was not a believer of homeopathy and there was no solution in the modern medicine. Her associated symptoms were migraine and bronchitis, and the migraine started after the LASIK surgery and was intense during the COVID which she got. Bronchitis, she needs inhalers daily, and it started during the first year of marriage, approximately 15 to 17 years back, and the symptoms of both the complaints were as follows. So this is about the migraine. Generally it is worse 1 week before the Diwali. Damp weather, in sitting position, lying on the back maybe. Whenever she is anxious, she is bound to get the headaches. Physical exertion 1+. When she bends over, it is worse. While getting from the chair, it is worse. Light makes it worse. Looking at screen and reading is impossible. If she has any kind of fasting, it is worse. Cold food and drinks aggravate it. And in the morning when she wakes up, it is worse. She is better when she rubs the head after she eats something and covering up the head. And what is interesting, whenever she gets the headache, her frequency of urine increases. As far as her bronchitis is concerned, she feels a sense of pressure, someone sitting on the chest, and wheezing. Again worse in the cold and damp weather, in winters, in sitting position, lying on the abdomen, worse by cold food like ice creams and cold water, and better in hot humid weather when she lies on the right side and in the open air. She desires pickles during this time. Now let us see her mind state. Okay. Past history, dengue, renal calculi, hypertensive, on medication, mother, diabetes, father, recurrent cold cough and acidity, paternal uncle, tuberculosis, paternal aunt, asthma, tendency for cold on father's side. Physical generals, she desires very hot food, coffee, sweets and eggs 3+, aversion to bitter. Onion, garlic causes acidity, especially after COVID. Thirst for small quantities at small intervals, chilly. Occasional tendency for UTI. Profuse sweat on the neck and the forehead. Reserved as a person. She can write and convey better than speaking. This was interesting. She is very closed, dwells on the hurts caused. She was lonely as a child as both parents were working. She fears darkness, future, especially the finance and cockroaches. So when I took her symptoms, this was the consolidated section of her symptoms. That firstly, her smell is hypersensitive. She is very excessively sensitive to smell. Worse in cold, physical exertion, bending while rising from the seat, light, straining the eyes, that is looking at the screen, fasting worse, cold things worse, on waking worse. Because she passes more urination during the headaches, I have taken urination frequent. She feels better by covering, by rubbing in the open air and lying on the right side, and worse sitting. And when I repertorize her case, you see there are 3 and 7 remedies which cover all the symptoms. Actually, there is only one remedy which covers all her symptoms, which is natrum carb. And the next remedy which is there is graphitis, which is covering 14 symptoms. Because natrum carb is covering all the symptoms and has highest polarity difference, I decide to choose natrum carb. And also because she is reserved, she is closed, and she dwells on the past disagreeable things which are natrum symptoms, like you are asking that only facts or the mind. So here the facts are in favor of natrum carb, and her mind state or the mental symptoms are in favor of natrum group of remedies, and I am getting natrum carb as a remedy based on the facts. Hence I decide to start her on natrum carb. 8 months she was 80% better. Migraines around the menses, they tend to occur. Bronchitis inhaler reduced from once a day to once in 15 days. This is the point where she stopped the treatment, and this is what she had to give a feedback, that homeopathy has been a life changer for me. From starting with much anticipation, rather denial of homeopathy as alternate medicine, I have come a long way. My treatment for long COVID condition has been handled, and over the course of 1 year and after full recovery from my ailment, I feel like a brand new person. Dr. Devang has a very holistic approach towards the treatment, and over the course of time, he tackles all the health conditions leading to the main symptom with patience. Okay, I'm very thankful to the Other Song Clinic. This is not an endorsement but a personal experience. So this is